Don't know if anybody's in here just yet, but I'm getting her fired up, getting her ready to rock and roll. Hopefully we have a good stream tonight. I know we were supposed to take a break, but we decided we're going to give her a shot because we had some, decent like numbers last night. So with the numbers last night and stuff, it may have done us some justice. How's everyone doing? Hey, whoever just came in, put your like back on there. You accidentally took it away because you had liked it earlier. Soviet Kitty, there you go. Good deal, buddy. I'm doing good, man. Doing good. We decided to go live tonight because we had some decent numbers last night on the likes of all the people coming in, so we figured we'd give it a shot. See what happens. Trey's going to be late. He said that his dog's having breathing issues. Hey, Sue or Tom, that's Tom. There you go. It looks like your like disappeared there for a minute. A lot of y'all have already hit the like button, so if you hit it again when you come in, it's going to take it away. But I see it's back up there. And, just for anybody that's here that, is not new, I am going to talk about some snakes tonight here and stuff. I know some of you already know about them and everything. It looks like we had somebody in here that already came in and left. I hate when they do that shit, but whatever. But anyway, we are going to talk about some snakes a little tonight. A lot of you know about them already, but in case we have new people coming in and out and stuff, we are going to discuss them. We're going to start off talking about a couple timber rattlesnakes. I'm going to give people a few minutes to come in and stuff. I've seen the counter bounce all over the place already. I've seen it go up as far as 7 and back down to 3. It could just be leveling out. We'll see what happens. Good evening, Sue. Good evening, Allison. Appreciate you stopping in. Yeah, Dave, he said he has seen a couple in y'all's yard out there before, so at least, you'll know the difference in them and stuff. If you see them in the yard, you'll know what's harmless and what isn't harmless, and venomous, what isn't venomous, and all of that. But we're just going to give people just a little bit of time to roll in here before we get going. And I just ask everybody, if you have the time, let's hang out for a while here. I'll probably have the stream going for a total of about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I understand some of y'all might not be able to hang out that long. But hang out as long as you can without going back out, because when people are in and out, it sort of, messes with the algorithm, especially early on in the stream. Allison, if you have not already done so, double tap the center of your screen to give us a thumbs up, please. And guys, if any of y'all ever get in any trouble and need a bondsman in South Carolina, the one right there, Allison Holcomb, her and her husband run a bonding agency. Very good people, nice people, good friends. Make sure you call them. And you don't even have to be a criminal to need a bondsman anymore with the fucking jackboot thug pigs we have out there. And as we go through the night again, I'm going to ask everybody to throw a snake emoji in the chat, if you will, to let me know who all's in here. And I'm actually going to do that now. So if y'all will put a snake emoji in the chat, please, I would appreciate it. Anybody that's in here. That way I can verify, because this counter has been all over the place again already. So we've got Tom and Kitty. All right. So it looks like we only have Tom and Kitty. Sue, Tom, Kitty, Sue, Allison. That's 4. We have got David. That's 5. We have, okay, Murdoch. What's going on? We got Bruno. What's up, Bruno? Appreciate it. All right, guys. We still have a handful more should be coming in, so let's just give them a few more minutes, see if anybody else is going to come in. Anybody that has not hit the thumbs up button yet, please hit the thumbs up. If you're on a mobile device, you can just double tap the center of your screen. Thank you, thank you. Give us, like I say, just a little bit here. We got more people coming. All right, I have a buddy that's on here. His name is Gil. For some reason, his name ain't coming on there, he said, but his name's Gil. It is short for Gildo, sort of like a dildo, but just with a G. I don't know why his name ain't on. Maybe he's not subscribed to YouTube. I'm actually going to give him a call on the phone here to see what he can do. Nah, he's not Art's friend, but that would be a good match, wouldn't it? What? Oh, okay, you tapped it twice. All right. In the top of your screen, Gil, like right there in the center in the top, you should see a little thumbs up icon. At the very top of your screen, when you're looking at it, you should see a thumbs up there. Is that on your phone or your computer? On your phone, yep, it should be at the top of your screen. You should see something that looks like a little person, and then one next to it looks like a thumb. Okay. So if you see that thumb up there, you'll click on that. A little menu will drop down, and it should be highlighted in white if you have already gave it a thumbs up. Okay, so I'm gonna point my finger in the camera here. Right above my finger, right there, you should see a thumbs up symbol. Oh wow, you don't see it, huh? Yep. Okay, that's what you should be seeing, but I bet it's lagging behind is what it is. You'll see my finger. Yeah, directly above my finger, you should see a thumbs up icon. Okay. Son of a bitch. Okay, so when you double tap your screen, does it show a big thumbs up on the screen after you do it? Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I appreciate that, Allison. Thank you. Yeah, buddy. Yep. Yeah, yeah. On the right there, what you're seeing, what do you see? Like a heart and a, other shit? Uh, Okay, well, you may not even have a YouTube account. Do you have a YouTube account? Like, do you have a YouTube account? Do you ever watch? Okay, yeah, I don't think, by the sounds of it, your YouTube, it don't seem like you're logged into your YouTube account. It sounds like you're just using YouTube, but you don't actually have your email address linked to it to actually have an account to be able to like and comment and stuff. That's what it is. What? Yeah, yeah, that's cool. If you want to try to do it, it's real fast for you to do it. And all you got to do is, back out of my stream, go out to the main page of YouTube, when you first open up YouTube. All right. And then down in the bottom right corner, you should see like, I don't know if it's going to be a circle or what, but you'll click on that and it should come up for you to log in or. Yep, yep. Just get out of what you're doing right now. No, no, not YouTube TV, just YouTube. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, most phones have it on there, but yeah, you can just go into apps and download YouTube, and then when you go in, you'll just have to sign in. Yep. Yeah, it don't matter. It'll just give you suggestions for the shit you like. Yeah. Oh, yep, yep. So now, now that you have YouTube on there, in your bottom right corner of it, it should say like you or something and have a circle. Okay, well then you are logged in there now. Okay, perfect. So now just go to your search bar and type in. No, 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 no. You're good because you already have that red G. Stands for Gil. So yes, you're already logged in. So now you should be able to just search for the virtual reptarium. Yep. 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 TAR. Yep. Okay. Now you should see something that says, view channel or whatever. Okay. Uh, yep. Yep. There you go. Click on that. And now when you go in, you ought to see the chat floating there. Yep. Okay. So now you should be able to double tap your screen, a quick double tap, and that'll give a thumbs up. No, nope. Right in the center of the glass screen. Yep, your phone. Right in the center of your phone. Just double tap quickly there, and that should give a thumbs up. Not even at the very top of your screen. You don't see a thumbs up there. Alright.
See person down, I see the road, I see the bars, and I see what is it up here?
Here, I'm gonna actually hold my phone up in front of the camera to show you. Alright, let's see here. Let me get it pulled up. Right here, okay. So now, right here, when you look at the screen, right at the very top, you don't see that?
Wait a minute, all I see is the road now. I don't see you.
Okay.
I got it. Here we go. A thumbs up. Okay. Yeah.
There you go. Hit the thumbs up.
I hit it. Okay. There you go. Hit the thumbs up.
Perfect. Okay. And now you can just, you know, down there where it's live chat, where you saw Sue and Josh and Lil Peep and all that stuff, you can write comments in there. I don't give a shit if you just put little, you know, emojis and stuff. You know, we got to keep that thing fired up to get this thing to, you know, take off. Yep. Yeah, you can put that, and you know, people are gonna say hi to you, then just say hi back and shit. You know, just keep that chat rolling, because our streams used to do, you know, thousands of views, and they've been down to like 100 views lately. So we need to turn this thing around. So I need all the help I can get. Hell yeah. All right. Well, now that you got that, all right, there you go. I see it right there. I love what's going on here. Appreciate that. So, yeah, I'm going to throw a snake out here, and we're going to talk a little bit about one, you know, and then we'll talk about another one then in a little bit. So, yeah, I do it every fucking night, man. So, yeah, get everybody you can, you know. All right. Thank you, brother. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I have to help my old friends. Gil's a good guy. He's trying to help me out here. Hey. Get your butt back here. Where are you going already? Oh, I got an escapee. Where'd you go? Get over here. Come on. Alright, guys. So, right here, we have a wiry ass male yellow phase timber rattlesnake. And I'll get him to calm down here in a minute. He's just a little hyped up. And he's wanting to haul ass on me. But we'll get him to calm down. It'll just take us a minute. And then I'll get him laying here where y'all can see. And if he don't calm down, we'll put him in a damn box and look at him. But he should calm down just fine. I'm going to turn some brighter light on here, guys, so you can see a little bit better. Come on, Bubba. Hey, come on, get your butt over here. All right, let me get some brighter light on here. Come on, dude. Hey. Come on, dude. You ain't making this easy. Get your butt up here. Come on, dude. You ain't going far. Come on. Cut this shit out. Get up here. There you go. Get up here. Come on. Come on, dude. Hey. All right. Let me get this damn light. There we go. Alright, come here, dude. Hey. Alright, guy. Come on. Now, this guy's squirrely as hell here. I should have had him out playing with him before starting the video so we could get him to chill out. He'll chill out. It's just going to take a minute. But as you see, they can be fast little guys when they want to be. But again, guys, this is a yellow-phased timber rattlesnake. Some of y'all are familiar with it. Some of y'all have seen it here on my channel already. There's a handful of folks in here tonight that have not seen the channel yet and have not seen these snakes. But this snake right here is about a 8-year-old male. The timber rattlesnake is very slow growing. You know, they live 15 to 25 years in the wild. Some individuals living up to 30 years, so they can live a long, long time. They're excellent climbers. This guy here, example, we have timber rattlesnakes on the eastern portion of the United States, cover most of the eastern portion of the United States. However, the one you're looking at here is specifically found in the northeastern portion of the United States. This snake here being yellow, or this greenish yellow color, unfortunately the color does not show as nicely on camera as it does in person, but they have a black phase, which we will look at here in a little bit, and they have this yellow phase in the northeast. Again, these are one of the largest pit vipers found in North America. They are also probably the #1 most docile pit viper or rattlesnake on the planet. I don't know of any nicer than this snake. But one of the big things I like to point out is, with this snake, as you see, obviously I am behind the camera, and the snake wants to continuously go away from me. This snake does not want to come towards me. So what I'm getting at with that is these snakes do not want to come after you. They do not want to attack you. They are not going to come after you and attack you. These snakes will flee every chance they get. They will not put up a fight, you know. They're not going to stand their ground. They are an ambush predator, meaning, you know, they will lay still and wait on their food to come by. You know, they'll lay in wait, relying on their camouflage. And if it's something that they're not going to eat, they are going to rattle to try to warn whatever the predator is, try to warn it to stay the hell away and be careful not to step on them. And if that doesn't work, as a last resort, they very well could strike and bite you. There are 4 to 5 timber rattlesnake bites annually in the United States. And every one of those timber rattlesnake bites that occur, every one of the timber rattlesnake bites that occur in the United States come from one of several things. Either somebody accidentally stepped on the snake, somebody tried to pick the snake up, or somebody tried to fucking kill it and they got bit, you know. So the moral of that story is, you just leave the playing with rattlesnakes to idiots like me, and you're safe and you're not going to get bit, you know. But if you put yourself in harm's way, expect some harm, you know. That's all there is to it, you know. But again, guys, even if I grab this snake, you know, I reach out, you know, well, let's see if I can get the camera here where you can see. Even if I grab this snake, touch its tail, it don't want to come around and bite me. It just still wants to get the fuck away from me. So, as you see, the snake just does not want to bite. But again, now that I just grabbed his tail, he does feel a little cornered. And let me turn the camera here to show you. Oh, shit, I just knocked the camera over, so let me scooch it over here and pick it up out of his strike range. There we go. But I actually have this guy a little bit upset this second. This guy, from me just grabbing him by the tail like that, I put him on edge. And as you can hear, he's laying perfectly still and he's rattling his tail. Now, if I continue or if I get in front of this snake at this point, this snake is going to strike. This snake is in a defensive position right now. Now, that's another thing. A snake does not need to be in the position that you're seeing right here to actually strike and bite you. And there you go. I didn't approach the snake when he was in his defensive posture. So the snake chose to, once again, try to flee and get the hell away from me. So, and he's still rattling as he's going, trying to scare off the predator, which is me in this situation, rather than standing there and putting up a fight. Now, Bruno, I saw you had a question about if there are any snakes that will stand and fight. Yes, there are some snakes that will stand and fight, and I do have some that will stand and fight. However, they will not initially just stand there and want to fight you. Now, if you fuck with it, accidentally step on it, mess with it, try to pick it up, any of that kind of thing, that's when that snake is, going to put up a fight. And in fact, this snake right here in this enclosure is one that will stand its ground if necessary. That is the monocled cobra, which is found in South and Southeast Asia. And we will probably talk about the monocled cobras here in just a little while. I just wanted to start off with the timber rattlesnakes because a lot of people really love timber rattlesnakes, and the timber rattlesnake is my all-time favorite rattlesnake on the planet. Specifically, the next rattlesnake that I pull out to talk about here and show y'all, I'll get it a little more in-depth with talking and stuff about them, but the next one I pull out is actually my favorite rattlesnake on the fucking planet. And it's, in my opinion, the most pretty rattlesnake on the planet as well. All right, Murdoch, see you later. But if you have time later, stop back. But yeah, so the next rattlesnake, like I say, is, I'll actually go ahead and get that one out now because I think y'all will, think the same way as I do about this next one. Come on, Bubba. Here. Give me just a second. I'll pull this other rattlesnake out and show you my all-time favorite rattlesnake. And it's this specific snake that's my favorite, not just this specific morph, for lack of better words. So this guy here is my favorite. Now, like one of the ones I just showed you, that yellow phase, it actually lives in an outdoor habitat on my property. I have it in a tub now because we were battling snake fungal disease with them, through the summer. So they need to get fattened up. And if I would have left them out in their outdoor enclosure, they'd have went in their den and they would have went into brumation, and I need them to eat some more food before going into brumation. So, but anyway, right here, this guy is my all-time favorite timber rattlesnake. And that is not a camera glitch, that makes it look so dark. That is the true color of this snake. And I'm going to pick the camera up and try to give you a little bit better look here to see the amazing colors on these ones. This one is a black phase, but this one here is not super unique, but it's kind of unique because it also has the brown stripe down the center of its back. Now, many timber rattlesnakes do have that copper, brown, or whatever stripe. How fast can a rattlesnake travel on flat ground? Good question, Gil. Some rattlesnakes, depending on species, can travel up to 18 miles an hour. Specifically, the Sonoran Desert Sidewinder can do 18 miles an hour on sand or flat ground. The timber rattlesnake, if I had to estimate, I would say the timber rattlesnake can move at about, 5 to 7 miles an hour. The reason I don't take snitch out down here is I just do not have the space to move. If I had the space to move down here, I would do it. So when we get back home and we're in the snake barn, I will have plenty of room to work with snitch, and at that point I will take him out. But down here, a timber rattlesnake is so docile that they're easier to control. Snitch is very wiry. He's a Western Diamondback, and the Western Diamondbacks are extremely defensive rattlesnakes, and Snitch is no exception to that. These timber rattlesnakes are, very docile, very slow, very reluctant to bite. As I've shown y'all already several times, these snakes, as I have them out here, they want to crawl away from me. Not a single time have you seen them come back towards me. These snakes, you could literally be walking through the woods and you could step, directly, right beside one. And the snake's not going to bite you unless, it feels threatened, scared, or provoked, or you accidentally actually step on it. But to just pass by it, it's not going to mess with you. The snake's going to leave you alone. I mean, here's a good example of that. Like, I put this hook right in front of this snake's face, and the whole time the snake just keeps moving his face out of the way. He's not trying to strike. He's not trying to bite. Yes, Tom, much faster than you can run. Your best bet is, just very slow movements. If you ever get close to one, just stop, stand still a minute, and slowly, get yourself out of the position whenever you feel safe enough to. Now remember, that snake is able to strike much faster than you could ever run. So, don't think you're going to outrun a damn strike. Because it's not going to happen, guys. Just ain't going to happen. So, but anyway, I think we have enough of a time in here now for people to get on in here and stuff. So, being that we got everyone in here and stuff now that's probably going to come in for now, maybe we'll get a couple people stopping through as we go here. But I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit deeper dive on these guys here while I got this guy out, and then we'll move forward. So, but anyway, everybody, welcome back here to the Virtual Reptarium. Today, we are talking about my absolute favorite snake right here from the eastern United States, and this one again specifically from the northeastern portion of the eastern United States. It's the timber rattlesnake. Whether you do or you don't love snakes, or even if you're a little scared of them, just hang out for a while, because by the end of this, you're going to know way more about these guys than most people ever will. And, hang on, he's being a dick. But anyway, real quick before we get going, if you have not already done so, please hit the like button, drop a comment, and if you haven't, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. That way, every time we do a live stream or post a video, you get a notification, and you don't miss anything. Your likes and comments, they really help boost our live streams. It tells the algorithm, that, hey, people actually like learning about these snakes. And also, like I said, if you enjoy it, tap the like button, say something in the comments like Timber Squad, or tell me your favorite snake if you have one. But anyway, guys, I guess let's go ahead and get into it. So, timber rattlesnakes are these heavy-bodied venomous pit vipers that live in the eastern United States. And the ones that I want to focus on today are from the northeastern regions, places like New York, Pennsylvania, New England, and up into the Appalachian areas. They're not little garden snakes. These things can get 3, 4 foot, even up to 5 foot long. Sometimes even a bit bigger. They've got that thick, classic rattlesnake look with a triangular head, a big, powerful body, and of course that iconic rattle at the end of their tail. In the Northeast, you'll usually see two main color forms. You will see a yellow phase, kind of a lighter body with darker bands, sort of a yellowish green color. And then you have a black phase, which is dark overall and sometimes almost all dark with subtle banding. You might see a little small light white outline around some of the patterns on some of the really dark ones. If you ever seen one in person, you know they look serious. You know, this is not a snake you confuse with a little harmless garter snake. But here's the cool part. Even though they look intimidating, they're actually pretty shy and don't want anything to do with us, as I've demonstrated so far here. This snake, I drag it towards me, it runs the fuck away from me. You know, it just wants nothing to do with me at all. So if you're in the Northeast, you might be thinking, I've never seen one. Do they even live around here? But, you know, yeah, they do. You just probably haven't really run into one because, you know, they're very secretive. The populations have dropped a lot in a lot of areas. In the northeastern United States, they're often found in the rocky hillsides, you know, the forest-covered mountains, you know, ridge tops, areas with a mix of deep woods and sunny rocky outcrops. They love spots where they can just like bask in the sun to warm up, or they can retreat into a rock crevice or forest cover, you know, to cool down and hide. So you just imagine a classic northeastern hardwood forest, all of those oaks and maples, rocky ridges, and maybe a nice overlook. That's prime timber rattlesnake country. Now, depending on the state, they might be, you know, protected, rare, or even locally gone from places where they used to live. So if you ever do see one in the wild in the Northeast, that's actually a pretty special experience. And hey, if you've ever seen a timber rattlesnake in the wild, tell us where roughly. You know, don't say exactly, but let us know in the comments. Don't give an exact den location, but say, you know, upstate New York, you know, central Pennsylvania, New England mountains, something like that. I'd love to see how many of you have ever encountered them. So, what do timber rattlesnakes eat? Alright, let's talk food a second here because, guys, I'm going to show you something that's one of the most uneasy feelings you'll ever get as a snake handler. Okay? Right here. When you're working with a damn rattlesnake right there, and you hear one moving behind you, it's a little fucking scary. Marshmallow, what are you doing? Marshmallow, where are you going, girl? Get your butt back here. Alright, anyway. That there is a caramel albino piebald ball python. And she's just been cruising. So anyway, we were talking about what rattlesnakes eat. And if you're a snake, your whole life is pretty much, you know, don't get eaten, find a place to hide, eat something else, and then repeat. Timber rattlesnakes are ambush predators. That means that they're not cruising around chasing things all day. They'll pick a good spot, they'll coil up, and they'll wait. They can wait sometimes days to weeks. And their main diet is, you know, mice, rats, chipmunks is a huge one for them up in the Northeast. Small squirrels, and sometimes even small birds or other small animals. So in a way, they're like original pest control for the northeastern forests and sometimes farm edges. People will say I hate snakes, but then they're also like, I got too many mice in the barn. Well, guess who would be happy to help with that problem? You got it, the timber rattlesnake. So their venom is designed to quickly immobilize prey so it doesn't get away. It also helps start breaking down the tissues of their prey with to aid in digestion. Um, so basically, they'll often just sit right along a little rodent trail. They're totally camouflaged. And a mouse runs by, then they strike, they inject their venom. The mouse runs off a little bit and then collapses, and the snake tracks it down by scent. It's super efficient system that they've been perfecting for millions of years. If you think it's cool, hit the like for the natural pest control team right now. So how do they live? The daily life, and seasons. In the northeastern United States, the seasons really shape how timber rattlesnakes live. When things warm up in the springtime, they come out of their brumation dens. These dens are often shared by multiple snakes, sometimes even different species. They've been using some of these den sites for decades, maybe even centuries. They'll bask in the sun near the den to warm up and get the body going again after the winter. As it gets warmer, they spread out into their summer habitat, which is usually the forest, the rocky ledges, mountain slopes. You'll usually find them on a south-facing slope. They spend a lot of their time hunting, basking, and avoiding predators. And this is also when they breed. Males will travel around more trying to find females. Sometimes you'll see two males doing this combat dance where they kind of raise up, twist around each other, trying to push each other one down to the ground. It looks like they're dancing, but it's really a wrestling match for the chance to mate. And then when it becomes fall, as fall comes, they start heading back towards those same den sites that they left in the spring. They remember where they are, and they'll travel some distance to get back there, up to 5 miles. And once the temp drops enough, they'll go back underground and brumate through the winter, sometimes in big groups. And that's one thing that makes them vulnerable. If people find a den and decide to do something stupid, they can wipe out a whole local population in one go. That's why so many states protect them. So, we got to address, the common, oh, a snake chased me or a rattlesnake chased me, So that brings the question, are timber rattlesnakes aggressive? Let's clear this up quick because this is where a lot of myths come in. Are timber rattlesnakes dangerous? Yes, they're a venomous snake. You need to respect that. Are they out to get you? No, not at all. Most of the time, if you see a timber rattlesnake in the Northeast, it's probably just trying to stay still and hope you pass by. Or if you get too close, it's rattled to warn you. They rattle, or that rattle is just, literally the snake saying, hey, I'm here. Please don't step on me. This can go smoothly. You leave me alone, I leave you alone. They're not eager to waste their venom on a human. Venom is like gold to the rattlesnake, It costs them a lot of energy to make, and they need it for hunting. Most bites happen, like I've said already, when people try to pick them up, people harass or mess with them, or somebody accidentally steps on them, or, right next to one and scares the shit out of them, or some dumbass tries to kill them. So if you just give them space, they are more than happy to let you walk away and go on with your day. So if you're watching this and you've always been scared of rattlesnakes, I get it. They've got that reputation, but in reality, they're more like a grumpy old neighbor who just wants to be left alone. Not some horror movie monster. If you're learning something new here, drop a comment like, I didn't know they were that shy, or I respect them more now. Now, the venom, let's talk about a little bit of venom and safety here. Since they are venomous, let's talk about safety, especially for folks who hike or camp in the Northeast. If you're hiking in timber rattlesnake country, just wear boots, watch where you step, especially around rocks, logs, and tall grass. Don't stick your hands under rocks or in crevices where you can't see. If you hear a rattle, stop, look, and slowly back away. And, if in the worst case scenario someone is bitten, just stay calm as possible. I know it's easier said than done, but with modern medicine, you're not going to die. So, get medical help immediately. Do not cut the bite. Do not try to suck the venom out. That shit don't work. And you're just making things worse. And, just try to keep the bitten area still and get to a hospital. Modern medicine plus anti-venom means a lot more people survive rattlesnake bites now, but it is still serious. So the best plan is don't get bitten. And the way you do that is by respecting the snake and giving it space. And let's talk a little bit why the timber rattlesnake is so important. Besides the fact that they're just cool and have been here way longer than we have, timber rattlesnakes play a huge role in the ecosystem. They help keep rodent populations in check. They reduce the spread of diseases carried by rodents. They are part of the natural balance of the forest. When people go, let's kill all the snakes, they usually don't realize that what they're really saying is, let's have more mice, more crop damage, more hantavirus, more Lyme's disease, and a broken ecosystem. So in some places, timber rattlesnakes are now threatened or endangered or just very rare. They've been hit hard by habitat loss, persecution, roadkill, people destroying dens, and even diseases like the snake fungal disease. Again, I told you all in the beginning of this, that's why these couple of rattlesnakes are here with me versus in their outdoor habitat that they have on my property. They have a 1 acre habitat on my property. Anyway, so if you ever see one in the wild, instead of thinking, yikes, let's get rid of it, I hope you'll think, wow, that's a rare and important animal. Let's give it some space and just appreciate it from a distance. Remember that the idiot Jesse was just on this damn live stream, pissing with one for an hour. And it never struck any one time. So just remember that kind of thing. And let's bust a couple myths here real quick. The first, myth is rattlesnakes always attack people. Reality is they'd rather avoid you. Most strikes are defensive because they feel threatened. Myth 2 is if it doesn't rattle, it won't bite. That's bullshit. They do not need to rattle to bite, just so you know. They can bite you without rattling, and they will bite you without rattling if they feel threatened or cornered or anything in between. And another myth here is killing rattlesnakes makes the area safer. That's absolutely incorrect. You might actually end up with more rodents, and you're talking, out of a native animal that belongs here, the safest move is education and respect, not extermination. If you've heard any crazy rattlesnake myths where you live, drop them in the comments, and maybe we'll bust them. So, let's say you're out hiking in the Northeast and you see a timber rattlesnake. What should you do? You stop right where you are. Don't jump. Don't lunge at it. Figure out where the snake is actually at. Sometimes you hear the rattle before you see the snake. This snake is being very active. He will not lay still. Normally I can get him to lay still for a little while, but he just ain't having it tonight. But anyway, give it plenty of space. A couple of feet's fine. Maybe 4, 5, 6 feet. Take a moment, enjoy the sight from a safe distance, then slowly back away and go around it. That's it. There's no need to be a hero. There's no need to try to catch it or move it. Just let the snake stay wild and do its thing. And the reason I love timber rattlesnakes is, for me, timber rattlesnakes are like this perfect mix of, power and peace. Come on, fucker. We knocked the damn camera over. Alright, anyway. So, they're powerful predators. They're perfectly adapted to their environments. They've got a lot, of cool stuff about them. They got that iconic rattle that we all know, whether we like or don't like snakes. Every snake someone sees, is that a rattlesnake? But they also just want to be left alone and live their snake lives. In the northeastern forest, where the leaves, the rocks, the moss, and then a timber rattlesnake coiled up on a sunny ledge, it just feels like you're seeing nature the way it's supposed to be. I'm originally from the Northeast, and I live in the Southeast now, but, my favorite place on earth is the Northeast, right in those very woods that these snakes live. So, if you're at all starting to appreciate them a little more after this, hit the like button for the timber rattlesnakes, if you haven't already. So, guys, the timber rattlesnake, to put it in perspective a little bit more here, the timber rattlesnake matures very, very slowly. A female timber rattlesnake does not reach sexual maturity until between 8 and 11 years of age. The males are between 5 and 7 years old. A timber rattlesnake will only reproduce every 3 to 5 years. And when they reproduce every 3 to 5 years, that means with the age range I told you they live, 15, 20, sometimes 25 years, you can see that they, reproduce maybe 2 times their entire lifetime. So, killing just one timber rattlesnake can completely destroy an entire colony or family or habitat, whatever you want to call it, of timber rattlesnakes, an entire den of them. So, it's best to not kill them. Let snakes be snakes. The timber rattlesnake, another fun fact that a lot of people don't know, but the timber rattlesnake, most of y'all know what the Gadsden flag is, the Don't Tread on Me flag. That is one of the earliest American flags out there, and that flag actually depicts the timber rattlesnake. What's he puffed up like that for? You want to see which one? The timber rattlesnake that we're looking at? Because if that's the one you're talking about, it's because he took a shit. Yeah, it's because he just took a dump. Now, if you see, he's not so puffed up anymore. But, they also do it as defense, it just makes them look bigger. But, yeah, that's why when you saw him swell up, it's because he was getting ready to shit all over the place. Luckily, he did it behind the camera where y'all didn't have to see it happen. But yeah, anyway, guys, for as long as it takes for them to recover, and killing just one, can do that to an entire habitat. When they do have babies, I will show y'all what the babies look like and the size of them. And actually, here, let me put this guy away while I show you. They have litters of babies, usually somewhere between 5 and 20 babies, however, with an average of 6 or 8 of them. And the crazy part is, and it's a big reason for why their populations are declining so bad, if there are 8 babies born this fall, if there are 8 babies born this fall, this is what the babies look like right here. Here's one up close. Let's see here if I can get the camera closer here. They basically look like miniature little adults, But they have about 8 babies, example, out of, their litter on average. So if they have 8 babies, half of those babies are not going to survive the first winter. So that knocks it down to 4 babies already. And then come springtime the following year, they're going to probably lose another half of what's remaining. So now you're going to be down to 2 babies out of all 8 of them that actually survive against the odds in the wild. So, if you kill one female from a den, and that happens with the only other female left in that den site, because contrary to popular belief, some people have it in their mind when they think of a rattlesnake den as some big ass den where there's just hundreds of rattlesnakes. And there are mega dens for some species of rattlesnake. However, most rattlesnake dens could be just, a handful of snakes in there. There could be 2, 3, 4 snakes. Not all of them have, hundreds of snakes in them. So it's just very important, guys, the conservation of this species, because, they used to be found all the way from New England, clear down into the northern parts of Florida, all the way out to Minnesota and northeastern Texas. These rattlesnakes are no longer found in the northeastern portions of Texas. You got to go across the bridge into Louisiana to find them now. You don't see them in Minnesota like you once did. These snakes are just not as widespread as they once was because of humans. Every bit of it is because of humans. So, we need to learn that we can live with these animals, because I promise you, if the timber rattlesnake, dies off, becomes extinct, it's going to fuck with a lot of other things in the ecosystems. And the ecosystems, can go bad real easily. There's a fine balance there. The timber rattlesnake is a keystone species. That means that, they are both prey and predator. They eat rodents and stuff. They keep that in balance for us. But at the same time, they are prey for other things like these babies. Like I said, most of these babies won't survive. That's because, things like turkeys and fox and coyotes and raccoons and, whatever. There's many other animals that actually eat the timber rattlesnake. There are other snakes like the black racer and up there in the Northeast. The black racer eats venomous snakes, and the number one venomous snake on their menu is the timber rattlesnake. So there's already another rattlesnake species in the northeastern part of the United States that a lot of people have taken for granted that is almost completely gone now. I could be wrong about this because I haven't looked into this for years now, but I think there's something like 500 in the wild left that they know of, and that is the eastern Massasauga rattlesnake. So if we don't take care on this timber rattlesnake, will we see it in my lifetime or your lifetime? Probably not. However, maybe my grandchildren's lifetime, or your grandchildren's lifetime, you will see that happen. So we need to protect the shit we have today to ensure that they have what they need in the future. It sounds stupid, and when I was younger, I used to think, that's fucking dumb, that ain't gonna happen. But you know what? Reality is, that can happen. And I'm not being... Never mind, I'll keep that comment to myself to save my channel some trouble. But... guys, it's way more important than you realize. Way more important. So, that's the timber rattlesnake, and a quick little lesson about them. I know we didn't go too deep, but I have a ball python acting like a fool, knocking stuff over. And I'll be right with you guys. Give me 1 second. I gotta clean up some snake shit. And if anybody had wrote a comment to me and I didn't answer you, I'm sorry. I am not ignoring anybody. When I got the venomous snakes out like that, I try not to take my eyes off of them long enough to be reading comments. I did catch one out the corner of my eye there when they asked about it being puffed up. But I will look through here and I will find whatever questions y'all have asked and I will answer here in a second. Okay. So I'm going to look through here real quick and see. They have rattles or not till they shed. Yeah, when they are born with a single segment on their tail of keratin. Keratin is the same thing yours and my fingernails are made of. Good afternoon, Trey. But anyway, that's what our fingernails are made of. They're born with a single segment of keratin, and every time they shed, they get another segment of keratin added onto their rattle. All right, so I'm looking through here. What's up, Fish? Good to see you, buddy. Do rattlesnakes like north or south more? Iron Sword, that's a good question because the timber rattlesnake is found in the north and the south both. They adapt to, their conditions in both places. They live completely different lives between the Northeast and the Southeast, though. Again, in the Northeast, we just talked about it and what you'll see in the Northeast with them. But in the Southeast, you find them more in the longleaf pine forest versus the hardwood forests. You don't have the rocky outcrops in the Southeast as you do in the Northeast, so they use, burrows that may have been dug by, gopher tortoises and other animals and stuff that are abandoned. They'll use them as their den sites. So there's a lot of differences between the North and the Southeast. At one time in the Southeast, they was called a canebrake rattlesnake. The scientific name for that was Crotalus horridus. The Northeast has always been the timber rattlesnake called Crotalus horridus. So at one time, they considered this to be two separate species of snake. However, in recent years, they have determined that the canebrake rattlesnake and the timber rattlesnake are one and the same. However, I still disagree with that, but I am nobody to argue with science, and DNA and all of that. So I got to go with what they say and say they're two different species. But if you look at the timber rattlesnakes that we was just looking at here on the stream, and then you look at a timber rattlesnake from the Southeast, you see some pretty stark differences. In the Southeast, they're more of a tannish gray color with a bronze or copper stripe down the center of the back. So they look way different, and more of a thinner chevron type banding pattern down their back in the Southeast. In the Northeast, you see more of a blotchier pattern, So there are some differences in my opinion. I am not going to feed anything tonight, little peeps girl. Do not have any rodents here to do any feeding tonight. Okay, Gil, we answered your question about how fast. Let's see here. Anybody else asked anything? How does that little head swallow a mouse? Gil, their mouth, and their skin actually stretches, Their mouth, even when they strike, if you was to watch a strike in slow motion, you will see with a pit viper, their mouth is opened up, so wide that, you could actually probably touch it on the wall and make both their top jaw and their bottom jaw sit flat against the wall. So in other words, it opens up completely vertical. And then when they start swallowing the rodent, their skin stretches like elastic, and they use their muscles to work it on down into their belly. What's the difference between a timber and a pygmy, Allison? Allison, the timber rattlesnake is a very large pit viper rattlesnake. The pygmy rattlesnake is the smallest rattlesnake on the planet. We have what's called the Carolina pygmy here in our area, and they're usually a little red-colored rattlesnake. They are very tiny. They are actually smaller than these babies you're looking at. They can get a little bit bigger than these babies, but they're a very, very small rattlesnake. They can be, easily mistaken for, something else because of their small size. To find one in the wild is almost like trying to find chicken teeth. Your girlfriend lives in Mount Pleasant and has big pygmy rattlesnakes all over her new property. I would like to visit your girlfriend down in Mount Pleasant, and check out them pygmies. If she has big pygmies there, I'm sure there's some sort of den site there that they're staying. Yep, they're all baby timber rattlesnakes. Yes, these snakes are originally from the Northeast. Josh. And we answered the rattle question. The timbers we have here in Oklahoma are dang near the same as the Southeast version. Okay, yep. And you're in Oklahoma. The little ones, how they're all over each other, or are they just more comfortable like that? Yeah, whenever they're small like this, you'll usually see them, gathered together, even in the wild. It is almost time to separate these guys into their, own individual enclosures. So we will be doing that in the near future. Yeah, Allison, please do ask her. But so now I'll give you all a little bit of a look at the difference between, a wild type timber rattlesnake and a selectively bred rattlesnake. Now, this other rattlesnake that I'm going to show you is, bred and born in captivity through selective breeding. This guy would not be found in the wild. It can happen in the wild. However, most of them do not survive in the wild because of their inability to camouflage. But right here is a Western Diamondback rattlesnake. This guy is what is known as a tangerine albino Western Diamondback. And let me wash my hook off, and I will show you. I am not going to take him out of his enclosure because I do not have the appropriate space to work with a snake of this demeanor. But I will show you the difference between, the attitude of the timber rattlesnake and the attitude of the Western Diamondback rattlesnake. Peyton Fowler, hey, I'm late joining, but I'm here. The recovering retic owner, hey, what's going on? I'm glad to hear that the retic's doing fine. Did he eat the rat the other night? I was curious about that. Hey guys, Peyton that's in here, as she said, she's the one that, owns that reticulated python that we made the house call for to go try to help out and get it to recover. I appreciate you coming. Make sure you smash that like button. He did not, unfortunately. I'm going to do a 4-speed tomorrow. Peyton, please don't do that yet. That snake has plenty of good weight on him. Do not do that yet. I will gladly help you with an assist, but let's wait a little bit yet. It's not critical yet. Yeah, Bruno. It's too small of a space to do it safely. Whenever you are working with these snakes, you want enough space to be able to get out of the way if they should, get a little defensive, or if I'm holding them, I have to have room to sort of spin in a circle and stuff to keep his head away from me and things like that. So, but yeah, Peyton, we will definitely take care of that. I would like to stop by again in the next day or two and have put eyes on him. I know you sent me video and picture, and he looks really good. But maybe we can come do a swab and do a little gram stain test and make sure that the bacteria is completely done. And we will work on his appetite a little bit, as time goes. But he is very safe right now. There's no need to stress or worry about an assist or a force at this point. But, yeah, guys, so I'll just show you here. You'll see quickly, the difference. Just look at like you have seen with the timbers at this point. They have tried to flee every time right away. And this guy's going to run too, but he is less, he's not trying to run from me so much. He does want to get away, but he's not like even taking the opportunity to go to the other end of the enclosure. He's just kind of, he's willing to bite if he has to, whereas the timbers will try harder to not bite. No, it's just, and again, I don't really use the term aggressive, but defensive, we're scary to the snake, because we're big and, whatever, we look huge to the snake. And they know they can't eat us, so we are a predator to them. So they get defensive. And yeah, I just got to have room to move and all that. So I know you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, so that one there, that's a tangerine albino western diamondback. You got to go for a while, kitty. All right, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. We'll see you a little later on. But, and then we got right next to it, I know some of y'all saw the movement, in the background. But right here we have Bob, our albino monocled cobra. Bob ain't got a job and still lives at home with his mom. Huh, Bob? No, but one thing, well, yes, you are kind of correct there, to be honest with you. Being that he is albino, he cannot see as well as a normal snake. When they are albino, they just do not have the vision that, their normal counterparts have. But now that he's not hooded up, see, this looks like just any other normal corn snake. But I assure you, this is not a corn snake that you want to fuck with. This is an albino monocled cobra. The monocled cobra is drop for drop more deadly, venom-wise, toxicity-wise, than the king cobra. Let me try to get the glare off of there a little bit for you. No, I can't get the glare gone. let me move some things around here, and we'll pull out something else here for a minute and have a quick little chat about it. Something else that's not native to our area, but it's something that a lot of people, know of and they really seem to like. What's up, girl? What's up, big girl? Come here. Come on, big girl. Here. Now, don't you shit on everything. You hear me? Don't you be running away. Get over here. Get your butt back here. Hey. Hey. Now, come here. Come on. Don't be running. Why is everybody running tonight? Come here. Hey. Why is everybody running? Come here. We're not running tonight. We're going to stay right here and we're going to relax. Come on, girl. Hey. You're not climbing my hook. But anyway, guys, this one right here is the Komodo Island Pit Viper, also known as the blue insularis or the Tremorosaurus insularis. Again, it is very hard to get a true accurate, view of the color of this snake on camera. The color is just, there you go. I got brighter light, which helps it. But, the color is just still freaking amazing on these guys. This guy is found, in the Komodo Island, now it is also, it has several different names. It is called the white-lipped island pit viper. There is also, the white-lipped pit viper, which is the same species, Tremorosaurus, but it is green, and then the ones from the Wetar Island is yellow. But the most sought after is this nice, really pretty blue one here. This is an arboreal snake, meaning it lives in the treetops, spends most of its life in the trees. And if we had some rodents here, we would do some feedings and show y'all the difference, but we don't have any rodents with us to do any feedings tonight. Maybe tomorrow night we can schedule to do some feedings if this turns out good enough tonight. We'll see how it goes. It performed a little bit better last night, but with any luck, things will keep going. I don't know that I have seen Eliza and Patrick in here yet or not. Yeah, she blends in with the blanket. Yeah, she does. No, I just saw your question there, Bruno. That is not true. About when a baby snake bites versus an adult. The adult snake bite is always much more serious than the baby. The adult has much more venom than the little one, so it is definitely a more serious bite. One of the big differences is when a baby bites, they really don't have the experience that the older ones have. So usually when they bite, they're biting for keeps, where the adult, may be biting just out of defense, and it might just be a little quick, defensive tap, or dry bite. but it is still more dangerous for the large one than the baby one, always. But as you guys can see on this blue snake, everything is blue except for that tail, and that tail is red. The reason that tail is red is because when they're in the trees, you know, they're living in the tree and they want to catch prey, they will wiggle that tail around. It's called a caudal lure. They wiggle that tail around, make it look like a worm, and a little bird or a lizard or something like that will come try to eat the worm, and the snake will eat the damn lizard or the bird that's trying to eat the worm. So she's sitting straight up. She sees the light up above, and she wants to try to climb onto that light. Come here, girl. Nope. Get your butt over here. Yeah, that's an old myth, you know. A lot of people have heard exactly what you're talking about right there. But that's definitely an old myth, you know, that does not hold true. But this snake right here is a lot of people's favorite venomous snake to show. And it's because of them pretty colors, you know, and everything. You know, they do have a fairly serious bite. Let's see here. Peyton, I'm a content creator myself in a different field. Not sure if you have tried it, but I would recommend making accounts in various social media and redirecting them. Okay. Okay. Well, you're welcome to tell the viewers on here, you know, where you make your content. I think I got an idea. I could be wrong. Yeah. See, that's what I got to do. My streams was doing great up until. All right. See you tomorrow night, fish. But yeah, the streams was doing great until about a week ago. And a week ago, we went from one stream at 41,000 views down to fucking like 2 views, you know, or 9 views is what it really was. So it just collapsed from one stream to the next. I believe we got shadow banned. So I think I need to do what you're saying as well to try to turn this thing around. Yes, and Logan is correct. The Iron Sword takes care of those channels. I need the Iron Sword to come over and we can discuss it a little bit, you know, and really get this thing, you know, ramping up and stuff here, because I think the channels need some more attention and some things to happen, you know, a little bit differently where we can make this thing take off. You know, we got to get it back. We have some things that we're going to do differently, you know, moving forward, but that is good advice for sure, Peyton. I appreciate that. Wow, Fish left early tonight. Fish usually hangs out for the whole stream. Fish must be getting bored. But anyway, I'll put this girl up and we'll take a look at one more here. Oop, she got her attention on me now. There you go, girl. Hey. There you go. Now you done already? You don't want to stare at me no more? You know, all right, that's fine. Here, come on. Let's go in your box. Let's go in your box. And does anybody here know what this stuff is? Yes, he did what, Sue? I forget what I said. Oh, yeah, I knew he left early. I saw him say goodbye. Like I said, that's out of the ordinary for him. Yep, this baby Huffy, it's a gaboon viper, West African gaboon viper, scientifically known as Bitis rhinoceros. They are a West African species. They are arguably one of the fastest striking snakes on the planet. They have the largest fangs of any snake on the planet and the largest venom yield of any snake on the planet. So they are a trifecta of records. And they, they are a rather docile species, just like, the timber rattlesnake. I'm sure you could hear that there. I'll try to get her to do it again, but this is their warning sound. Can y'all hear that? But they make that huffing noise or that hissing noise. To try to warn you, like, hey, I'm here and stuff, the same type of thing, warning people that you're there and stuff, or that they're there, and that they don't want to bite you. They just want to be left alone and not accidentally stepped on or messed with in any way. Well, guys, I think we are going to go ahead and call it a night here. I'll probably do a quick run through and show a couple other snakes. Are you just getting here, Eliza? I ain't seen you until now, unless I just missed you. Actually, you know what, guys? We have another snake we got to look at. You're right. We haven't looked at this one in a little while, so let's go ahead and look at this one. I did not look at this one for a little while with y'all because they regurgitate very easily when stressed, and we had fed this guy a little while back. But now that he's had some time to digest his food, I'm not concerned. So we're going to go ahead and get him out and have us a look here. What's up, little dude? Hey, little guy. There we go. So now, these are two different snakes. They are in the same genus, though. They are both in the Bitis genus. This one right here is called the Bitis rhinoceros. It's a West African gaboon viper. And this one over here is called Bitis nasicornis, which is the West African or the Ugandan rhino viper. And I'm going to try to zoom in a little here, try to show you why he's called the rhino viper. As you see there on the end of his nose, he has some really big horns. You out of here, Josh? All right, brother. Thank you for stopping in, man. But this here is the rhino viper and the gaboon viper both hanging out together. These two was to be a pair. I held these ones back to grow them up and breed the pair of them together and produce what they call gabinos, which is a hybrid between the two. But anyway, I think with that, I believe we are going to call it a night here. I don't want to go too long tonight. I'm still deciding on whether we're going to take a break or not. I wanted to see how tonight went. Better. It actually, did a little worse than last night. So I don't think that it's worth going forward for a while. I think we need to just back off and, maybe stick to shorts and videos for a little while. So, all right, guys. I appreciate everybody. Thank you very much. And we're going to hit the road. Thank you, Allison. Thank you, David. Thank you, Peyton, Gil, Sue, Tom, everybody. Thank you, everybody. All right. Love you there, Kate.